Hello, hello, and good morning. It's a new month, it's a new opportunity. Happy, happy boot camp, everybody. I'm super happy to be here with you, Christiane Turner here. And it's about creating a whole new life, raising our frequency, and being together in this very, very special time. It is the second half of the year. Can you believe it? We are already here in the last 6 months of 2024. And it's been 4 years, I believe, that I've been taking that opportunity every half year to do a reboot, to reset the system, so to speak, to reconfigurate my practices that I'm putting into everyday living. And I'm doing that with accountability, with you. We've had many, many groups that have come together during these times in January and July to do it together because it's much easier when we have friends and partners on the way, when we have accountability partners and accountability systems in place. So that's why I'm doing it publicly, because I know I'm going to have a much better chance to create my own new patterns when I'm doing it with you than trying to do it by myself. And I'm also hearing stories of how this is useful to you as well. So let's do it together. Yay, I'm excited. Let's take a couple of deep breaths together to get ourselves centered and grounded and present. And then we can just start right into it. I'm very, very happy to be here with you. Welcome, everybody who's going to be here live, and welcome, everybody who's going to watch this later on throughout the day or in this coming week. However, it works for you, I want to make it easy for you. I want to make it joyful, easily accessible, however, it works into your life. This is no pressure. This is no hardship. This is about ease and grace and doing it at your own pace. Now, you've probably seen my tracker already, which I posted last night, and I do have a bunch of very specific practices that I'm holding myself accountable for because I really want to increase my resilience and my energy vibration on a very specific level, and I'm holding myself accountable on a very high level. So I do have a whole bunch of practices that I've written down, and my rule is as long as I do 80%, I'm following the 80-20 rule, that then I'm having a super awesome day and I have fulfilled my goal for the day by doing at least 80% of the things that I did say I would do. So that means I can skip one or two pieces and not am following through 100%, but still it moves me forward. I am on track and it's getting me going in the right direction. So that's how I personally handle it. And then you know what? There might be days where I'm not doing it at all and I'm only doing two or three things, and that's okay too, because the whole point is to move towards, to create momentum, to create traction, and then get more and more of the patterns that we want to establish, and then the other patterns are going to fall away. So I did not put on here, for example, drink less caffeine and take in less sugar, which is actually one of my big addictions that I'm dealing with. It's more about I'm committing myself to drink lots of tea and fresh smoothies and things like that, and make sure that I have a great water intake. And then I know by doing those things that I will be naturally inclined that those other patterns don't happen as much. So that's how I handle it personally. And then you are going to be finding your own way and also your pace, the kind of practices that are important to use. For some of you, it might be, hey, I want to go to the gym 5 times a week during the months of July, or I want to walk every day, or I want to have more playtime with my kids. I want to do more journaling. So, whatever it is that floats your boat, you do you, okay? That is very, very important that you really understand it. This is not about a specific regime that I'm putting on you where I'm saying, well, this is what you have to do, and that's how it's going to be done, and this is the pace you have to do it. It is your reboot. It is your game. You make the rules. The only thing that I'm holding space for you, as well as for myself, is that we are moving forward in some way, okay? So, welcome everybody. So happy to see you here. Hello, Jane. Thanks for checking in. And also, everybody else who's going to join us for this morning and then throughout the days, throughout the week. Right now, I'm not committed in how often I'm going to do a live stream, at least once a week, that I know for sure. And then I'm going to see how much more I can just jump on my computer and also just have a video made up for you, or I'm going to do some other spontaneous live streams depending on how it goes, because I am definitely isolating myself a little bit during this time. This is my me time. I just realized that for the last few months I've had a lot of time with other people, and therefore it is very important to also now retreat a little bit again, go into the silent phase and spending time with myself, and also doing a lot of contemplations. I need that as an introvert. And so this is a perfect time to also have that part of my boot camp, that I am going to spend a lot of time with myself and a lot of time in meditation and prayer. All right, so Heather is here too. Hello and welcome. You made it. Awesome, awesome. We have a lot of people signing up for this. Love it. Thank you so much for being here. And I am going to post it in several of my groups that you are part of so that you can have access to it. And so let's just dive right in, okay? So, another couple of deep breaths, please. Welcome the morning. Welcome the energy of the new day, the fresh temperatures that we're having right now. Welcome whatever is going on in your life, because it's serving a purpose. It's here for a reason. Welcome yourself. Hello, good morning. Yay, I'm here. I'm present. I'm alive. I'm well. Give thanks for a few things that are going on in your life right now. Just drop inside for a moment and name a few things to yourself that you're grateful for, things that you might take for granted, that you can express your gratitude for right now. There might be things in your health and your well-being. There might be things in your surroundings right now, people in your life, circumstances, events that are coming up, your life in general. Just name a few of those in your mind right now, and that actually might be a great way to start your day, by putting things into your journal. And one of your practices might even be a gratitude journal where you write down 10 things every morning, or before you go to bed at night, or when you catch something going through your mind, be like, wow, I'm so grateful for that you just jotted down. So there's already one opportunity to immerse yourself in your resilience, in the law of attraction, and practices that help you increase your vibration. All right. So, with this being our first day together, I would like to invite you to set your intent. What is your imagination when you think about, wow, where do I want to be at the end of the month? Where do I want to be as I'm cruising into August? And what would I like to have achieved during that time, during that last month, in dedicating myself to the law of attraction, to resilience, reshaping my life a little bit, letting go of some patterns that don't serve me anymore, embracing patterns that serve me better? What would I like to call my own, that I can now claim, wow, look at that, I actually did that. Wow, I really dedicated those last 30 days. And even so, I stumbled a few times and I fumbled and I didn't do it every day. But man, look at that. I've really created momentum. What are some of those ideas that you have, that you would like to incorporate into those next 30 days, that you would like to make your manifested reality? So when I think about it myself, I'm thinking about the things like walking and being very diligent about having daily movement, having daily music. I love disco and house techno, and I'm singing a lot. And so having that as a daily ritual, at least 10, 15 minutes, a couple of times throughout the day, that I'm just putting on a beautiful song. I pull it up on my telephone and I'm just gonna dance, and I'm gonna sing out loud, or I'm walking up and down the stairs while I'm having a song playing in my head. I'm stretching, every day. So important. That's something I want to have as a natural practice that I don't have to think about or make myself do it. And yes, I would like to have at least 7,000 steps every day as my natural way of doing it. Every day, being outside in nature, no matter what the weather is, and taking a nice walk in the neighborhood, wherever I'm at. So those are the kind of things that I'm thinking about. And then, of course, the meditation, the prayer, devotional practices, reading material, always having a couple of books around me that have specific materials, listening to meditation music, fairy garden music, encouraging materials. Right now, I'm doing a lot of Bruce Lipton, Joe Dispenza. They're some of my favorite people I listen to. Of course, Esther Hicks is always on my playlist. I'm watching movies. I'm doing a lot of research now, of course, about near death experiences. What's on the other side? That's what I'm very interested in right now. So just think about those kind of practices for yourself that are important to you. They might be practices that have to do with your health and well being, things that you're putting into your body, as well as the output that you would like to increase, more time in nature, more time with your family, more playtime, more time for yourself. How about that? That was one of the biggest things that I was suffering from, is no time for myself. And everything changed when I made that commitment to myself. And I think by now it's like 15, 16, 17 years ago that I said, because I was having insomnia a lot and I was up at 4 o'clock in the morning, couldn't sleep anymore, tossing in my bed. So instead of tossing and turning, I jump in the car and go up to Silver Lake and walk around the lake. And I did that 3, 4 times a week. And that's then turned into other practices, and all of a sudden I got healthier and healthier. And now I easily sleep 6, 7 hours, and I'm living a completely different life. And it started with just one practice. Instead of tossing in my bed, let's just get up and walk around the lake. What a trip. When I now look back, what that one thing has cascaded into in my life. The snowball effect of making that one decision. So there might be practices like that. There might be practices about the eating patterns that you have. Perhaps you need to have a little bit more regularity. Perhaps you want to have more intermittent fasting. Perhaps there is more water intake. And then all those practices that help your mind. Just imagine that. What are you putting into your mind on a daily basis? I woke up this morning because I have this wonderful music right now. I don't know where it's at. It's somewhere on YouTube. It's like 16 hours of uninterrupted, just beautiful low beats. And then I woke up at 1/4 till 6. And my dream actually was me in a Chinese monastery on top of a mountain. And I was ringing that big bell. You know how they have the big bell? And then you have that piece of wood that you uh, using to make it ring. And I was that monk who was ringing the bell. And I woke up and I was so happy that that was my dream. And I know on some level that it was inspired by that music that I was listening to. So a lot of times I also fall asleep to inspirational material that I just drift off into now. And then I have very, very vivid dreams about those things that I'm listening to. So your environment greatly influences what goes on in your mind. So what kind of environment do you want to create around yourself? And what do you want to inspire? Do you want to inspire more calmness, peace of mind, not worrying, turning your worries into serenity and hopefulness? Do you need more motivation? So, do you need to perhaps put on more videos and audio tapes that are more about, I can do it, I'm a success, things are going easy, I can have whatever I want? Is it about helping you with worry or with fears that you might be carrying around right now? Are you overwhelmed? You need to take off the burden, let go. And there is something for everything that you can tune into. Everything is available at our fingertips nowadays in visual form, audio form, environments that you can immerse yourself in. Did you know that there are VR videos just with ancient cities that I like to put on sometimes? I go to Greece, I go to Egypt, and it's just there on YouTube and other channels as well, where the people have created beautiful scenarios, beautiful environments, and you can just let it run in the background. And then you glance over there and you're in this beautiful temple all of a sudden, or you're standing in a field, or you are in a witch's den, or you are in a Harry Potter castle. I mean, anything is possible these days. I just find that absolutely fascinating. So if you haven't known about that, please immerse yourself in that. Figure out some of those environments, and they're right there for you. So when you think about 30 days from now, who you want to be, what you want to have achieved, let's set a goal for ourselves right now. What is your intent for this next period of time, for those next 30 days? And you know how the brain works, that what you immerse yourself in is going to become more and more your reality. So, who are you growing into right now by making that decision? Let's take a moment, just go within. You might even take a few notes. Well, for me, the word reinvention comes up quite a bit. And that is very appropriate with the circumstances that I'm currently dealing with, being in grief. We are now 3 weeks into it with losing Sean. And that is, of course, very, very current in my own life. And I'm practicing radical acceptance. That's what someone said the other day. And I just, I loved that word. I'm like, okay, that's exactly what I need right now. Just radical acceptance about my current circumstances, about what is, and also holding the hope, holding the space for the new me, the new opportunities that are presenting themselves, the new challenges, the new goals, the new dreams. And therefore, reinvention is my theme for this boot camp specifically. So that's what the words that just came into my mind. And that's almost like a chapter title that I'm going to give this month, reinvention. So I'm going to write that down real quick. So please also take some notes yourself. And make sure that it rings true to you, whatever you're choosing right now. And it might just be a working title for the first couple of days, and then some words will crystallize in your mind over the next week where you're like, oh, that's what this is about. New beginnings, new chapter, deepening, new adventures, finding myself, being true to myself, increased resilience. So, something like that. Make it short and sweet. Make it so that it's easy for you to remember, easy to tap into. You can take some notes on it and then you can go deeper with it. So if you want to put it in the chat, I also appreciate that. And I also want to welcome Tina Marie and Darcy. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Love having you here. So everybody who is here live right now, if you want to put it in the chat and hold yourself accountable on that level, or you can also post it in the group itself in the event. And then I am going to post it in the NLP group, in the Goddess Reboot group, as well as in our Law of Attraction Bootcamp group, which is the private group that everybody is a member of who is an alumni of my past boot camps. So I'm assuming that you are a part of at least one of those groups, okay? So Goddess Reboot group, which is a public group, the NLP group, which is a private group, because that's mostly alumni and people who are very interested in quantum NLP, and then our private bootcamp group as well. And if you want to be a part of that, that's what you can then join starting in week 2. Okay, so what do we have here? And I actually need my glasses. Release and rebirth. I love it. Jawohl. Perfect, perfect. We are releasing and rebirthing. We're reinventing ourselves. We are deepening our knowledge. We're diving in. So, whatever the words are that resonate with you, and that's what's so important. I keep going to emphasize that you do you. I'm offering you the motivation, the inspiration, the framework, the skeleton, the scaffolding. You put in what works for you, and you're going to do it at your pace, at your time, in your way, okay? That's the freedom about it. So we do have some kind of a structure, and then I want you to really, really feel free. No pressure, because we have enough pressure in life, trust me. We do not need more pressure, right? This is about freedom, this is about choice, this is about opportunities. So make this fun. Make this an awesome event for yourself. What else do we have? Reigniting. I love it. Da 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 da. Reigniting. Yes, I love it. That's a wonderful word. So you will find the kind of phrases, the kind of words that work for yourself. And let's just tap into that right now and just project ourselves into the end of July right now, imagining having truly fulfilled those 30 days. Give yourself that fulfillment. Wow, I've really stuck with it. Or, wow, I've really established these patterns. Or, I've been sticking to this program that I gave myself. I've been establishing some new behaviors. And just imagine how that feels right now. 30 days into the future. Let's just future pace, jump into the future for a moment, act as if, and give yourself that. Looking back, man, that was a cool month. What a cool journey. I totally did it. Here I am. I have reignited myself, my life. I have released and rebirthed. Radical acceptance, you like that word? Yeah, I just heard it and I was like, oh, this is so perfect. Yes. I know it's a concept and I have to research a little bit where that comes from to go deeper into it. And also, good morning, Christine. We just set our intent and we just projected ourselves into the future 30 days from now and just getting the feeling. So, you know that the body doesn't know the difference between something we're making up in our mind and something up that we are actually really experiencing in that moment. So, let's just in our imagination go into the future, fully put ourselves into the end of the month and experiencing how it feels after we have given ourselves that opportunity at our own pace, our own time, in our own way, creating those opportunities for change, increasing our resilience, our radical acceptance, having reignited, rebirthed our life, perhaps release some of those old patterns that we've been talking about for a while, wanting to let go of. And here we are. Woohoo! High five, everybody. We did it, and we did a great job, and we did the best we could. And those little tracking sheets have lots and lots of check marks now. And I can look over my tracking sheet exactly like what I did in January. I was so proud of myself. The whole reason this whole thing came about is because a friend gave me a bullet journal for Christmas, and I was hooked. I watched a bunch of videos, and that's when I came across this whole idea of tracking. My bullet journal has now turned into a huge life journal, which is actually very artistic. And I'm taking out the pages and I'm putting everything that's super important into my new journal that I have been creating and gathering information for. And the happiness and the fulfillment that I felt when I looked at my tracking sheet and I literally walked 10,000 steps almost every day in the month of January. And it was so elating to have that on paper and looking at it and going, oh my goodness, not only did I walk 10,000 steps, I actually a lot of times walked 12, 13,000 steps. And then I had a couple of days where I had over 17,000 steps. And that's quite some miles when you really add it up. And that my water intake has gotten a lot better, that I am eating healthier, fresher food, that I'm getting used to intermittent fasting and that that's just a normal part of my life now most of the time. And that is because it's on paper. I can look at it and I can go back and say, look, that's what I did. So give yourself that right now as well. That 30 days from now, you're standing there, you're sitting there, and you can go, wow, I really did it. So do your happy dance, however you're doing it. wow, I have truly done yoga 80% of the time. I've taken those walks. I have done the journaling that I've said I would do. I've done these art pieces that I wanted to do. I played with my kids more. I played with my puppies more. I spent more time outdoors. I went to the park at least once a week. All those things. And really celebrate it as if it has already happened right now. We're time traveling into the future, and we are giving our brain, our mind, the experience of it has happened. It is real. Woohoo! So, congratulations, everybody. High five all around. Well done. And now I would like for you to think about what were some of the key resources that allowed me to do this. So, we're getting now into the nitty gritties. So, the first part was the future pace, really putting ourselves into the future 30 days from now. And now let's talk for a minute about the resources that enabled us to actually follow through. What were the key resources internally that allowed us to move from A to B? From that first moment on, in the morning of July 1st, when we said, okay, let's do this, and we're all motivated and we're together right now, we're all high on life, and yeah, we can do this, come on, I'm really serious about this is going to be fun, I can do that. And then to actually do it every day until we see the desired results. So actually, I just said a word, fun, absolute key. That is one of the key resources that I personally need to tap into to follow through, to keep myself accountable over time, and that I'm not going to fall off the wagon. And even if I slough off for one day and I'm not going to have as much water intake as I'd like, that I am going to then immediately get back on the horse and do it the next day. That if I walk 6,000 or 5,000 steps one day, that then I make up for it the next day and perhaps put my walking shoes right there by the bed where I can see them. The other thing what I do a lot is set alarms. And then I just set an alarm that is, for example, 7:30, walk. And then when the alarm rings and I look at it and it says walk, the chances of me taking the walk are so much better than if I don't do any kind of preparation, if I don't do any kind of pre-planning and pre-framing. So, for example, I do have my walking shoes sitting by the entrance right now, and that's the first thing I'm going to do after we are done with this meeting today. And I'm going to go on at least a 45 to an hour long walk. It's a beautiful day this morning, it's not too hot yet, and that's the first thing I'm going to do after this meeting. And I'm totally committed. And now that I said it out loud, I'm even more committed to it. So, fun is a very, very important ingredient. And then, what are some of yours? So, please also type them into the chat. The pieces that are going to keep you motivated, that keep you accountable, that keep you in that fun place where you don't have to make yourself do it. It's a joyful journey and you want to do it. And resources start out with love, trust, peace, freedom, kindness, gratitude, passion, compassion. Those are all internal qualities and attributes that help us to fulfill our goals. So, what am I seeing here? Fun, that's a good one, yes. Hello, Christy. I want to acknowledge you too. Thank you for being here and for putting your name in the chat. So, fun. What's another one? Well, accountability, the word keeps coming up, but that's actually what's already on the agenda anyway. Yeah, planning. The whole pre-framing is very important for me, I realize, as I'm telling the story about putting my walking shoes out. So, pre-planning, pre-framing alarms. Set alarms. If something is really important to me, I dedicate myself to set an alarm. And then when I look at it, it's going to be like, oh, yeah, that's right. I said I was going to go on the walk right now. And then have things set up in my environment that make it easy. So, for example, do not go to the grocery store right now and buy a bunch of chips and chocolate and have it all sitting right there. Make sure I always have enough water. I have my smoothie maker sitting right here, right now. I got my water jug right here, right now, and I'm using big glasses because that is enabling me to drink more. And then one of my rules is as soon as I'm getting down on my glass a little bit with the content, I already am filling in more water so that I am keeping the flow going. And so I'm pretty much always looking at a fresh, full new glass of water. Sometimes I put tea bags in, like mint tea or chamomile tea, or I'm also using, some other teas that I do some turmeric tea. That's another thing I do every day is turmeric. I do a teaspoon of turmeric in my water, so I have that sitting in the kitchen. So make your environment easy and conducive to the practices you want to do. I have my one journal here. That's my adventure journal. And then I have my other journal here. That is my actual bootcamp journal right now. And that's the journal I just dug out again. Divine Magic Spells book. Woo! This is a journal I did a few years ago when I did the El Camino. And so I still have pictures in here from the actual hike. And it makes me so happy that every time I look at it, I'm just immediately getting that vibe. There it is. Love it so much. So create the circumstances that make it easy for you to stay accountable. So what other words do we have? Frozen cotton candy grapes. Ooh, I like it. Yeah, exactly. Find those things that make it easy for you. I have berries in the refrigerator. I have the kind of fruits and vegetables right now that are really, really healthy for me that I love very much. It's all easily accessible. I love crackers, cheese, and grapes, and other veggies, for example, and fruits. That's how I live in the summer. That's the easiest thing in the world. To just graze and make myself those beautiful charcuterie boards that are really chock full with veggies and fruits. And then that's what, for example, my dinner will be. So, what other resources do we have, you guys? Joyfulness, determination, fun and play, gratitude, love. Beautiful words, beautiful words. I'm going to put joy on mine as well. It's a little different flavor than fun. Joy is a very, very deep, deep gratitude feeling of just like, ah, just love to be here in this physical form, loving the day, loving myself, loving the world. Just a deep, deep level of gratitude, accompanied with peace and serenity. Gratitude, yeah, all coming together. And then you sprinkle that with fun. Oh my goodness, what an awesome day that is. Okay, what else do we have? Creativity and freedom. Ooh, beautiful. Very nice. So, okay, I'm hearing some wonderful words here. So, I would like for all of us now to do a quick little exercise together because that's where the NLP comes in. So, there is one level to talk about all of that stuff, and then we write it down and we're committing ourselves. And then there is the other level to truly put that into our brains, into our minds by programming ourselves. So, what I would like to invite you to do right now is to think of times where you were very successful in living those resources. So if fun and creativity is your resource right now, I would like for you to think of other times that you had a lot of fun and creativity. So in my case, for example, making those journals. I can immediately project myself sitting at my desk, having all of my wonderful things, my playthings that are helping me to be creative. I have my markers, I have my glue, my scissors, I have my vision boards and all those wonderful things, my paper that I need to create my fun collages that I'm making. And I'm just putting myself there. I have a cool movie going on or some music. The circumstances are set for me to really express myself creatively. And I can now go into those moments and reimagine them, re experience them, because then in that moment, my brain fires off the exact same neurology. So if creativity was one of those resources that you chose, think of a time when you were highly creative. And it might have been through expression with dancing, or you might have had a great idea that you followed through. You might have had some kind of artistic expression. You might have been singing. You might have been dancing. Just go to that moment of creativity and be there right here, right now, re experiencing it, fully being in that moment of doing it. See, immediately I have music in my head, my body is moving, I'm straightening up. Right there, I'm like, ooh, I'm being creative, I'm having fun. Oh, yeah, this is awesome. All right? So that's how you activate resources. And when you feel that your energy is going down in the next few days, and you're like, ah, man, I need to be more creative. All you need to do is immediately go to those places when you did have it, and then it reactivates in your neurology instantly. And that's what makes it so absolutely awesome. It is instantaneous, it is absolutely effective. All right. The same for other resources. Think about gratitude. What are some of the highlights in your own life when you felt grateful beyond being able to express it with words? You might have been in a circle of friends, you might have been in a place in nature, you might have been in a sacred place like a church, a temple, or in your meditation room, and you were just overwhelmed with gratitude. Something awesome has happened that you have been working towards too. You had the fulfillment of it. And just be there again. Reimagine it, re-experience it right now. And then give that to yourself as a gift in the here and now throughout these next few weeks, that it permeates your experience, and you can go to that place any given moment, anytime you wish. And you can reactivate it just by thinking about it. And I know you will also create many moments in the next 30 days that then in the future you can look back on and be grateful for. And now let's take the resource of peace of mind, perhaps even resilience. This is ultimately the umbrella I put over this summer boot camp, that we do increase our resilience. So think of a time in your life when you were super resilient, when you surprised yourself with how resilient you are, when you bounced back, and you might have faced some pretty tough circumstances and you were able to overcome them, and you were able to keep your cool, your calm, and your hopefulness. You knew it would work out, and then you bounced back and things got even better afterwards. So think about one of those. Okay, give that to yourself as a gift right here, right now, especially over those next 30 days, so that resilience becomes an even more normal part of your life. That's what you call your own. I'm a naturally resilient person. That is what I wish for you to be able to say truthfully to yourself. I'm a grateful person. I'm a joyful person. So you can state it on the identity level. It's not just a hit and miss. It's not just something that happens once in a while. It is who you are. Oh, I'm just naturally resilient. Say that to yourself right now. I'm just a resilient person. I bounce back easily. Nothing can get me. I have radical acceptance. I can always see the good in everything that's happening in my life. I naturally bounce back. When did you have that in your life already? Because I know you have. There are times in your life where you already exhibited great resilience. So think about those right now. Gather them all up. Put them into the here and now. And then project yourself 30 days from now and how that has manifested itself even more deeply even more profoundly in your neurology, in your life, in your everyday behavior. So I have one example. For me, it's driving in traffic. And I have noticed how much I have slowed down, how much I am not cutting the corner, how much I am not the first one who has to already rev my energy so that by the time it turns green, bam, I'm shooting across the intersection. That used to be my old me. That's when I was going 100 miles an hour. I mean, metaphorically, of course, where I just had to be that first person who, as soon as it turns green, has to rush across the intersection. When I'm taking a turn, I would go kind of fast. When there is somewhere a hole, I would scoot in. Yeah, because I was in a rush and I got a kick out of it. Adrenaline. And over the last few years, I have accepted grandma style. And now it's almost like more, oh, come on, you go first. Nah, you go first. At a stop sign, you're looking around like, okay, it's my turn. No, everybody's chill. Oh, who wants to go first? Yeah, everything is cool. Going slowly around corners, driving slowly through traffic. So I'm seeing that the light is turning red. There's no reason for me to still have my foot on the gas pedal if nobody's behind me. I can just cruise to the next traffic light. And those are things that I have practiced over years now. And I can now tell that I'm driving around again where I'm like, yeah, I've totally chilled out. I'm not nearly as road ragey as I used to be. Now I'm all chill. And I'm so forgiving to other people when I see them doing it. Oh, you must be in a hurry. Blessed be, I hope you're safe. I wonder what's going on in your life that you have to rush right now. Be safe. Blessing intersections. So that's just one tiny example of how I can tell my life has changed. And it all started with a decision years ago. I don't want to be that person anymore. Now I'm grandma driver. See, that's an identity statement. And it is a skill that has been practiced after making the decision to make it so, that then has become normal. Just like the intermittent fasting. Most of the time, I do not eat in the morning. And I pay for it when I do, trust me. I immediately get tired. I immediately feel bogged down. For me, it happens to work. I know there are people who say breakfast is important. Well, perhaps then you want to make sure that you have just a very light dinner. And so you get your 12, 14, 16 hours, whatever you feel is appropriate for you. And fasting might not be your gig at all. Then screw it. Doesn't have to be. Think about some of those behaviors that you would like to have on identity level. That's just who I am. That's who I'm growing into. That is part of my MO. Okay? So that's all I'm saying. You're choosing the pieces that work for you, and you start imagining a life where that's just normal and that's just who you are. All right. So we already did a lot of work this morning. We did some wonderful pieces. We set our intent. We visualized ourselves in the future, having established some of those patterns. And we also tapped into the resources for helping us to stay accountable and make it a lot of fun, make it very creative, stay in that high frequency, okay? So I am going to check in with you guys in this event because I have posted the event for the whole week. This is where you're going to see my posts. I'm going to be sharing with you. I'm going to have some inspirational material that I run into, some quotes that I might come across that I'm going to share with you. So I'm holding myself accountable for having some output and keeping you inspired and keeping you accountable, and also having a daily post with some kind of an assignment, with some kind of inspiration that you can then choose to accept or not. And then also, again, tune in with you next week again. And in the meantime, you can also decide if you want to join the months-long boot camp, and then I'm going to invite you to our private boot camp group, okay? So with that being said, for right now, let's take another few deep breaths. Just imagine standing in a circle right now with everybody else who's here, and thank you so much for tuning in. I love to see the reunion. I love to see faces that I've known for almost 30 years now, you guys. This is my 30-year anniversary with embracing NLP in my life when I actually became a practitioner, and some of you were there in the beginning, and then we also have newcomers. We have people who have been there along the journey. So at this point, it's actually decades that we're talking here. So just imagine all the people who are here live right now, as well everybody else who's joining us virtually, who's going to watch this later. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let's just make a circle, hold hands with each other, look at each other, feel the energy of support that we all have for each other, that we also have for ourselves, that we have from the universe. And with that, I would like for all of us to take a nice deep breath together. And for good measure, another one. And with the next one, let it all settle in your body. And perhaps put together your own tracker, put it together some kind of a visual accountability system that helps you. It might be on your phone, it might be in a journal, it might be on a piece of paper or on your fridge, on your whiteboard, wherever. Create some visual anchors, some visual reminders for yourself that hold you accountable throughout the day and motivate you, encourage you, and make it lots and lots of fun. Okay? With that, I embrace you, my dear friends. I wish you a most wonderful day, and I'm going to see you right here again in our event. And I'm looking very much forward to your shares as well and how this whole journey develops for us. Okay? Love you lots and wish you a very, very beautiful day. See you later.